Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Yeah, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
What's going on here?
You son of a bitch.
In the shadows we die, where the Gotham lights shine bright. Talking all things Batman, living for the fight. Jett's got the stories and the laughs will unfold with the Cape Crusader tales that our legends retold. Every episode's a thrill, like we're racing through the night. Join the social hour where our passion ignites. It's comfortable and ride with us through the dark and the light. The social hour's calling. Let's take flight tonight.
Welcome to the Social Hour, a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. This is episode number, 226, 227, whatever it takes. 226! Episode 226.
Because 6 is good.
6 is good. Yes, thank you very much there. Ryan Lauer's back on the Social Hour, riding sidecar. Riding sidecar.
I can still fit.
Yeah.
The day I don't fit in that sidecar,
yeah,
we're going to have problems.
Yeah. It's a roomy sidecar, to be honest.
That's true.
It's a top-notch, top-of-the-line sidecar for sure. Social Hour here. We're going to talk a little bit about, indirectly about the Batman Part 2 and something about the Batman Part 3. I am merely Bill Ramey, the founder of Batman on Film. Don't forget the dashes. Pete Barrett did that. And it was a disastrous occurrence.
Pure disaster. Pure disaster.
Yes.
That's your best lesson, to not forget the dashes.
Yeah. I mean, he makes a point of traveling around, visiting middle schools, high schools, elementaries, doesn't matter, in New Jersey, talking about the students and just saying, look, you can't forget the dashes. It's a life lesson. We'll get you on the right track here. So he's doing that public service in the great state of New Jersey.
In addition to that, can't you just see like that would be a guest speaker, Peter Vera. You know, it's like, man, what is he gonna touch on? That's a show for the kids that they need to attend. Don't you skip school on those days, kids. When Peter R. Vera is gonna be the guest, you better get there early.
Yeah. You remember back in school and you get those assemblies would come in and, so Pete's doing he's doing good work in the Garden State.
Yeah. Spreading the word.
Yeah. Bless his heart. That's all I got.
Bless his heart.
This is a short social hour. We're going to address something that happened on Batman on Film this last week. Ron, you know that I'm not a huge social media fan, but I do like to have a little fun every once in a while on social media and just post a picture of something or, say something just to get people talking about Batman in some way. Usually has to do with the movies. And my thing of late is getting people keeping the idea that this Batman saga, the Batman epic crime saga, was planned to be a trilogy of films and then spin-off shows like The Penguin, but 3 films. And I think there's a lot of things going on that makes that look, ultimately, I think we're getting part 3. I think we're going to get a part 3. Not particularly worried about it, but there is that, elephant in the room of the DCU Batman, if the DCU continues on. And there is, do you really want 2 Batmen on film, cinematic Batmans at the same time? And clearly there can't be a 6-year gap between the second film, which is filming right now, in part 3. So I don't know, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, I wrote an op-ed saying, we can't wait on the Batman part 3. I am totally I understand completely why this film took 6 years. Well, why there will be a 6-year gap ultimately when the films are released. You had the 2 strikes, WGA and SAG, that caused the first delay. You had the personal issue with Matt Reeves that caused the second. And then this last push, which is only 4 months, I should remind people, from October to February, from 26 to 20 or 27 to 28. That was a business decision because they believe, they being the suits and the Warner Brothers and the DC studios, think that weekend is a better release date. Plus, it's Q1 of the new year.
Can I jump in on that one too?
You absolutely.
I've seen with more of that next 4-month delay. I think anybody that reads, they can see that this Paramount Warner Brothers merger is a some bitch.
Yeah,
it's a some bitch. So, and this part isn't my like I thought of this at all, but the moving it 4 months back puts it into 2028. More of a window cushion that all of that will be settled and it'll be fully done.
Yes.
But it's currently obviously met more hurdles. So it's giving it more time to be clear so that it's all under one umbrella at this point. Also, I'd seen that during this, what do you want to say, this period, this time, that Warner Brothers, there's a lot of restrictions on them. And that DC, if you notice, they're not announcing anything that's coming out in 2028 from DC Studios. And it's mostly, I don't know, related to this.
Yep.
So this also, like you just said, business-wise, this gets DC/Warner Brothers has a 2028 movie.
Yeah.
And maybe because of this merger, nothing else comes out in 2028. They've at least got Batman. They've got one thing. So that's one to me that I think definitely backs up how you just said it, business decision. This is all into the weeds. Most people don't know or care. Most people hear delay. Most people get annoyed by that. I'm always one of like, hey, more context to form an opinion. I don't like the 6-year, waiting 6 years, but it's like we're getting full context at least of like, hey, this is why this, and this is why it's taken so long. And that was the latest one that I'd come across, is the restrictions on DC Studios, amongst probably other things that is not privy to public information. But that's a big one that I'm like, I think the more you think about that, and like, we don't know what's confirmed in 2028 and 2029 because of, this.
Yes.
And so it made sense that Batman is
right.
one thing.
It's Batman.
Let's get that on the books. It's Batman.
It's Batman. Okay. It's a Batman movie. It's a sequel to The Batman. Pattinson's riding a little hot wave right now, man, as well.
That guy's on fire. Did you see that primetime trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks excellent.
Yeah.
That looks excellent.
I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to ask you about Spider-Man in a minute, but just to mention it here, Spider-Man, brand new day, kicking ass at the box office. That's a good thing for Batman because they're kind of symbiotic in a way. They are the two
symbiotes.
Yes,
they're the same symbiotes.
they are kind of attached at the hip. They are the Teflon, as I always say, the two Teflon characters that, if done well, will always do well at the box office. People will turn out for those two, despite reboots and whatever. That's just the way it is. The others, that's not the case, but they are. So that I was pulling for Brand New Day to do well for that reason, for Batman reasons, because it's kind of a precursor and kind of tell you if the Batman Part 2 is good, people are going to come out for that character. So anyway, back to the 6-year gap. can't be a 6-year gap. Just can't. It can't be what would be 6 years?
2034.
No. And
I'll be knocking on 50.
So,
Don't say your age and tell me to hold my beer. I'm just saying, like, I haven't hit 40 yet, and I'll be knocking.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is I can be rational and say, okay, I understand why there is the 6-year gap between the Batman and part 2 because of the 3 things we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Can't happen again. With the Batman part 2 coming out in February, you can have it. I mean, I'm not saying it's got to come out 2 years later, but you could have it come out in 2030 and be like a holiday release. That's like 2.5 years. You're almost getting in. It's almost a 3-year difference if it comes out like December of 2030 or November of 2030 or in October of 2030. So that was kind of my thing is, okay, this time we gotta have a more reasonable gap between films. And so I just was, wanted to have fun. Made a little logo of the Batman logo with Roman numeral 3, put it on Twitter just for fun, get people talking about it. Hey, if you wanted to go, are they filming back to back? I'll get to that in a second. And just say, is that, are they filming back to back? That would be cool. At least you're talking about the Batman part 3. But really my intention is just to say, hey, there's Batman part 3, possibly in the future. Let's talk about it. And it's got to come quicker. This was kind of an offshoot of that op-ed. So if you wanted to say whatever you want to come up with and infer from that is fine as far as fan talk. However, I never said they were filming back to back. And then, frankly, that wasn't even in my thought process when I did the picture and put it on Twitter. My problem is not with the fans. It's with these wannabe influencers and on social media and these quote unquote news outlets who took it and said, Bill, Jett, Ramey from Batman on Film is reporting that the Batman part 2 and the Batman part 3 are filming back to back. Hence the latest pushback and the length of time it took to get the film to get the filming part 2. This from the Batman coming out in 2022. That is completely not what happened. This was the same thing that happened. Do you remember the Wonder Woman fiasco from a few years ago?
Remind me.
I think it was in a mailbag. And I made, this was when they were going to introduce Wonder Woman in BVS. And I was like, and this was just pure, how we came up, we were talking here. We do this all the time. We come up with all these we write stuff for Matt Reeves or whoever.
Yeah.
And then
we've got all these ideas for him.
Soon as we put it out in the universe, that 100% makes it where it's not going to happen because we said it. So in this mailbag, I said, it wouldn't surprise me. Like if you think about Man of Steel, where that these ancient Kryptonians who had came to Earth, and we know how they on Krypton they had become like they were growing their offspring basically in labs and not doing it the old-fashioned way. That maybe the Amazons were are descendants of these ancient Kryptonians. That would, that's why you could create an all-woman race who, you could create, kind of a riff on the molded from clay type thing with this one of Wonder Woman's origins. That's all I said. And I think I bet $100 in Monopoly money. Well, then it got picked up as I was reporting that Wonder Woman was going to be the Amazons Wonder Woman was going to be Kryptonian, and the Amazons were descendants of these ancient.
Classic Bill Ramey.
Yeah, and it blew up that I said that. Never said that. So this one was worse. I actually had wrote, at least I did write that idea out, even though it was just fan fiction. But I never just said that was the case. This was just a picture. I didn't write anything. And it became that. Yeah.
Let me throw something your way.
Yeah.
Because I did see some, and this can be a response to multiple comments in one question. So sometimes pictures that you have posted have led to something coming to fruition.
Yes.
For those that said, trying to find a different voice here as to not offend, but definitely single, Bill, how can you say those things? You put pictures and it led to something, but this thing didn't, and you're surprised by people reacting by their reaction to your post. Like, how do you categorize this one as different?
Fair
Than previous?
It's fair. It's fair. This would be, I would say, I'm just putting the Batman Part 3 logo out there, and I'm trying to release it into the universe to make it happen. And let's talk about the Batman Part 3. So I did in my retort to that say, I apologize to fans who interpret it the wrong way, or in a way that I don't want to say wrong, a way that I didn't intend to interpret it. But I was not happy with the ones who said I was reporting that it was happening, just in the name of for them to get their own clicks, hits, and whatever. That's where I had the issue.
Yeah.
So I stand by that. Yeah.
I think it's funny because, that wants to be, or that was some, what do you say, retort to your posting, etc.
Yeah.
But nobody took your picture, no context with your Mr. Freeze figure and ran with it and made a story out of it.
Yeah.
What's another thing that you posted? I don't know. You've also got other posts like pictures and the imposter. Nobody ran with that. The Batman Part 2 is heavily pulling from the imposter. So why is this one? This is different then. And now all of a sudden, let's run with it. This is confirmed, blah, 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 but the other ones didn't. So it's people just being selective to whatever fits their narrative.
In a weird way, it kind of accomplished what I was wanting to accomplish. Was there is a strong desire for a third film.
Yeah.
People want the Batman Part 3.
Which is funny because we don't even have the Batman Part 2.
Exactly. They want this. They want
it might suck.
Yeah.
We said a long time ago,
be.
Jeffrey Wright's not going to come out and say, I read the script and it sucked, but maybe, he wanted to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's awful.
Yeah.
That'll be your next one. Batman on film. The Batman Part 2 script sucks.
So even though I say, yes, I apologize if you misinterpreted, but you didn't have to, even the fans, you didn't have to get bent out of shape about it if you interpreted something incorrectly, and
I don't think that you need to say that you need to apologize for it. That'd be like me. That'd be me posting pictures and somebody run with it, taking it, and it's like, this is like, you interpreted this a certain way. By saying that wasn't my intention, is that a softer way of saying I apologize? I don't think so. But it was like, I know that I didn't mean. I take
back my apology, and I'll just say I didn't
take it back.
I didn't intend for anyone to think that they were filming back to back. I knew they're not. But I know they're not filming back to back.
One's confirming that it, filming back to back and all that shit. I saw I never heard of a bunch of these before. And so it's definitely of like, well, this is showing you again who to and who not to trust, because these people they're just running with it. And you can see rumor, it's when something has rumor, blah blah blah, may in the same sentence, do you not understand that it is total bullshit?
Yes.
Because one, it's a rumor that something may. You know what? It's a rumor that Bill may show up as Crazy Quilt in the Batman Part 2.
It,
And that means that you can run with that story because you're like, hey, I didn't confirm it. I said rumor. I said maybe.
yeah. Here's the thing.
That's
Here's
bullshit.
the thing. I, I, the people who spun that picture into their own narrative, these social media wannabes, influencers, they're the ones who started the rumor. I didn't start the rumor. I put an image of the bat logo with Roman numeral 3. That's it. And it really, like it is no different than I got my McFarlane Mr. Freeze over there. I put a picture of it because it's cool. I had the lights on, as he's in, and it's to me, it's trying to have some fun with Batman and with the Batman and with Batman on film. That kind of stuff's not fun. That's where I'd take exception, is saying I was reporting it. If I report something, it's going to be on Batman on film proper, period.
Yeah.
I like to hint around stuff. I like to have fun. I knew Keaton was going to be in the Flash, and I put a picture of Keaton. This was before, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to. No, I know they're not filming back to back. I wouldn't intentionally put that out there. Just go, you know what? I want to get some
traction.
Notice, some traction. I'm just going to put it out there, even though it's bullshit. I don't put out bullshit. I don't do bullshit. I don't do spoilers. Don't do any of that stuff. So if you know Batman on film, then you know. If you don't,
Two things.
You don't. Yeah.
One, look at that. People still follow Bill Jett Ramey. Two, you have an indirect line to James Gunn.
Apparently.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There's the positives coming out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I should do? I should just randomly post Batman Part 3 image on my Batman Book Club Twitter account, and let's see how much traction it does not get.
Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to say that. Okay. I did not ever report that they were filming back to back. I know they're filming just the Batman Part 2. I wouldn't knowingly bullshit my audience and put out something I knew was not true just for the hell of it. I wanted talking about the Batman saga. Let's just talk, whatever. So that is that. Quickly, before we get out of here, I told you it was going to be a short one. We talked about Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, no Way Home. Brand New Day. What the hell? Now we got Home Days. Well, I don't know what's the theme here. The fourth one, Brand New Day. Kicking ass at the box office, setting records and all. I mean, like #1 of all time. Good thing. Good for the genre, good for Spider-Man, and good for Batman indirectly, because they're the two Teflon superheroes when it comes to them being on film. Really quick, what was your thoughts on the movie?
You, me, and Boudin Pockets, Peter Arvera, live on an island when it comes to Brand New Day. I think of the three of us, I think I liked it the most, but we all have the same issues with it.
Yeah.
And I see, not just online, I see like people, I say people in my real life that I talk to, everybody does love this thing. I don't love it. I said it's a shame, because I do think it's Holland's best performance as Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And I think that it's got some really good Spider-Man stuff. And I think the movie, it definitely shifted for me in the direction of making this MCU's future. I'm not going to do full on spoiler, but I'm going to tread that line. So heads up. Yeah, I felt it. I felt the shifts in the second half of the movie, and I couldn't, and I was taken out of the movie,
Hmm.
and I did check my watch, and that doesn't, I don't know, with Spider-Man movies, that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
I said, because Pete brought up, I said, I came out of Spider-Man 3 disappointed because I was like, ah, man, like in an instant one of like, their potential
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
And I came out of this one disappointed, and I'm like, the potential was there. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I know my feelings. I didn't come out of that disappointed. I came out hesitant because I'm like, man, you're setting up for another one, and it's not guaranteed you're getting another one. And then they didn't get another one.
Yeah.
But that movie at least teased Spider-Man and Sinister Six, which is nothing but Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
This just went a totally different direction, and then the quote unquote villain, um, we're supposed to end up feeling for that person when that person was responsible directly for one, at least one murder in in the movie earlier, but everybody's forgetting about that. And I've seen Pete's been vocal about it,
Yeah.
and the best pushback that anybody has on it is, well, what about Keaton? Which I think proves a point that they can't argue with Pete's point, so they have to drag something unrelated into the mix.
Yeah.
I think that's very telling, and I think that, and that just in the end, that just disappoints me
Yeah.
because it seems like they made somebody from the Marvel universe who isn't a villain except for a small portion of a story, or except for a small portion of that person's history,
Hmm.
made that the focus. And Spider-Man has the, to me, second best villains of any
Yeah.
comic book character.
Yeah.
And we got them, the most of them, in a 30-second montage at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then also, and this isn't spoiled because it's out there, we see the Hulk fight a Marvel hero for the fourth time in the MCU. And it's just, as soon as that started, I think I don't know that I rolled, but I was like, freaking A again.
Yeah.
We're seeing, oh, cool. Good guy has to stop the Hulk again. Haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Like that felt redundant. Um, Punisher showing up, I liked it. That doesn't bother me. I feel like that works because
Yeah.
it's New York. If Daredevil would have shown up in that movie, I'd have felt the same thing. That totally works for me. That doesn't bother me at all. Um, it was just, yeah, the focus. And I think even if some other ones, if they did something, Dr. Banner being in the movie didn't bother me. It was when he became Hulk and Spider-Man
Hulk.
had to fight him.
Yeah.
That was like this. We've seen this at least three times. Maybe I'm forgetting more. They didn't do something new with him. Um, and then if other Marvel characters showed up in some fashion in the movie, like I'd had an open mind. When the villain was mentioned, I didn't instantly write it off. I was like, okay, let's see what they do. And it was just disappointing.
Yeah.
There we go.
So okay,
That's what I got.
I'm gonna I'm gonna sign off on that. Ditto. Um, I will say that my I criticize people that go in movies with expectations, but we all do. I guess it's more or less like Dark Knight Rises is a great example. You had that 4 years to write this movie in your head, and it wasn't what you wanted, then you hated it, blah blah blah. And it happens with other characters and franchises and series as well. But Disney and Marvel Studios flat out were saying after No Way Home that it was, they were going to segue into street level New York friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And that's what I thought they were going to do. And they kind of did it for a third to a half of the film. And then it just went to the typical MCU. Let's advertise for what's coming next. And we'll do it in a Spider-Man. We'll hijack this. That's what it felt like to me. Let's hijack this Spider-Man film for the upcoming establishment of the MCU. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
that used to be at Fox, but I'll leave it at that.
And did it tell a contained story? I guess. So it's like just because we've been here before, it didn't say in the movie, leave it open of what's, like, because this is what's happening next for, blank. True. But also the inclusion of the character itself, I think, was the story doesn't stop there. The story doesn't stop there.
No.
This part's gonna end up becoming important for future Marvel
Well, she's
movies.
on a bus traveling at the end. You know where she's going. He or she.
Yeah.
Oops. The character. You know where she's going.
Yeah.
She's going to an academy of some sort. It's not
Yeah.
Hogwarts either.
And I just kind of I do movies got this way, and it's eye rolling too. Of let's really get you in as this threatening villain in the first half. In the second half, let's warm you up. Let's give full context. You feel for this villain, and now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like, open your arms and hug this villain. Had a poor life,
Yeah.
and it's just like that villain just made a dude walk out in the road and get
Yeah.
slammed by a taxi. That dude's dead because of this
Yeah.
villain. But let's forget about it. Let's hug.
I listened to Pete straight out of Gotham, him and Holzman,
Mhm.
and Holzman loves it. But I go, come on, man. But I will say this. I give Holzman credit for this. He told Pete, I went into this knowing what it is. It's the MCU Spider-Man. And he likes it. That's fair. I'm not a fan of MCU Spider-Man. And he knows what you're going to get with this MCU Spider-Man. You're going to get more MCU stuff than you get Spider-Man mythology. That's the way it is.
And I think Pete has a good point too in saying so
yeah.
now we're at 10
Yes.
years of this Spider-Man, and there's going to be a generation of people that think this is Spider-Man when it's like it's not including Uncle Ben, it's not
Yeah.
including the Osborns, it's not including the Daily
Yeah.
Bugle, it's
That's
not
where I was
including
gonna
the
go
Gwen
to.
Stacy,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, man, like that would be like, imagine Batman skips Alfred,
This is
skips
where I
Wayne
wanted.
Manor, goes straight to the penthouse, skips I don't know, what are other crucial things with Batman's development? Skips all that, and all of a sudden he's sharing the screen with Raven and Zatanna
Okay.
to stop a mythical being named
This
the
is where
Spectre, and that's your first Batman movie. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want that.
This is what I was gonna say. Pete's counter to that, I agree with.
Yeah.
You just brought it up, and I was gonna transition this into Batman. Imagine if this was a Batman film with a similar plot where
Yeah.
he starts off, he's doing Batman things, it's Gotham City, and then all of a sudden it's a setup for the Doom Patrol or Legion of Superheroes. Mon-El comes, is the villain unknowingly, and then we realize, I'm Mon-El from the future, and we're gonna, we're set. What they're setting up? We're going to set up the Legion of Superheroes movie.
So I sent this to our BOF pal Trey Jackson. It's from a user. I don't know how. It was just because it came across, and I thought this was so accurate. At Dark Defective wrote this, and I think you can appreciate the analogy.
Yeah.
Imagine a Batman movie where he teams up with Peacemaker to fight Etrigan. The secondary villain is Zatanna, who's after the main antagonist, Amanda Waller, because she murdered and tortured Zatara while trying to learn and replicate his powerful magic. And I'm like, bingo.
Yeah.
I would hate that. I
Yes.
don't want that to be my Batman movie.
Yeah.
And I know some people look at that and be like, bring it on. It sounds great. You know what?
Exactly.
As Bill would say, bless your heart.
Yeah.
I don't want that shit for a Batman movie.
Yeah.
That doesn't interest me as a Batman comic. Like
Mhm.
none of that interests me. And I do go back to, I say that I'm a DC fan, but then I've told you before, probably on here even like with the Justice League cartoons, I'm like, they're enjoyable, but I know I was watching those like, where's Batman?
Yeah.
But it's a Justice League cartoon, so it's my own fault if I felt like there was a lack of Batman. The Justice League, especially Unlimited, is about the whole DC universe. Batman's not going to be present in every episode. I get it. A Batman cartoon, I expect there to be Batman. okay, you can bring in something different from the wider DC universe and still make it about Batman. Did they do that with Brand New Day? I don't know. I only watched it once. How much time did a person get in that second half? And am I just exaggerating it? I don't know. It was enough to take me out of the movie though. So
Yeah.
when it's a Spider-Man thing, when it's a Daredevil thing, when it's a Batman thing, hell, when it's Superman, I expect it to be
About that character.
90%
Be
that
about
character.
that character and their
Uh-huh.
world with their supporting characters doing that character type of things.
Yeah, and that was my expectation with comic books a long freaking time
Yeah.
ago. And it would piss
Yes.
me off if I'd buy a Batman comic and Batman wasn't in it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why the hell did I just spend $3 cheapers on this Batman comic and Batman's
Yeah.
not even in it and the
Yeah.
title's called Batman. Like that
Yeah.
pissed me off. So this
It
example, it's I
yeah.
don't want that at all. And I'm also one and I will practice what I preach. If I haven't seen it, how can I just instantly come
Yeah.
out and say that this thing sucks,
Yeah.
it's terrible, blah 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 blah. I know it does not interest me at all though. And that's something I can hold firm on seeing something or not. This does not interest me at all.
Yeah. Um, have we got to the point? What I'll say, start by, let me say this, and we are going to get out of here. It kind of makes my case of why I am not a fan of shared universes.
Hmm.
It's just like, this is the prime example. This is where we're at with anything MCU now, is even with their greatest character, their most profitable character, most treasured character, IP, Spider-Man. It's they use this film as an advertisement for the next big thing that's coming. That's going to be, we're going to get the MCU version of this Marvel property that we haven't seen yet. And this was how they did it. It was Spider-Man film. It was my problem with the Superman movie, is that it was much more Superman than Brand New Day was Spider-Man, but didn't need Green Lantern, didn't need all the other, DC, non-Superman DC characters showing up just to say, hey, we're a shared universe and we're going to spin these people off into something else later on. And if that happened with Batman, and then that's what if we get to a DCU Batman, that's what I fear. I fear exactly the kind of thing that you mentioned, the example of that Dark Knight Detective. Is that who the moniker was of this individual?
Dark Defective. I want to give credit where credit's due. At
At
Dark Defective. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at Dark Detective, spot on. Bravo, sir. Or ma'am.
Yeah.
Either way. So
Account.
yes.
Bravo account.
I speak your name. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think though, and this is what, I said to Pete, because of course, after Pete saw it, he told me that he rang you up right away.
Yeah.
I think I was busy, so I didn't get to talk to him until maybe the next day. And I go, but Pete, and I'm, I can accept this too. Like, but you, me, and Bill are wrong because it's breaking every box office record there is. So why would Marvel give a shit what three
Yeah.
people have to think when apparently the masses love it?
That's
And it's like,
also
that's true. I mean,
that's kind of the the double-edged sword here, is that it's going to set all these box office records, and so we're going to
this is
dish out
obviously the way.
the same slog as, and people accept it. And I'm like, well, is that where we are? We're just going to accept that. Well, I think Tom Holland is a fantastic Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he clearly loves playing the character, and he's on board with the characterization. So this just comes from me, who was a Spider-Man fan. I am a Spider-Man fan. I've said it before here. Depending on the day, it could be my second favorite or third favorite, just depending on the day and my mood between Superman and Spider-Man. And will he ever get what I would say, what Pete would say, obviously, a true Spider-Man film before his run is done? Because I don't see any of those 4 solo films being a true Spider-Man film. Yeah, it had elements. It had Aunt May and it had Peter Parker, but where's some of the other stuff? You mentioned earlier. Well, if we didn't have Alfred and Gordon and the bat signal and
Yeah.
things like that, where are, and I guess you could come back and say, to play devil's advocate, well, you had 2 other incarnations of this character that gave you all of that.
And I mean, that's what I come back to too. And because Spider-Man's not my Batman, but I love
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like it's probably, or not probably, it's Batman, Turtles, Spider-Man for me.
Okay.
Um,
That's a good mix. Yeah.
I'll always have the first 2 Ramey films.
Yeah.
Like for me, there will never be a Spider-Man movie that tops those 2. And
No.
those were Spider-Man in
Well, let me
Spider-Man's
say
world
this.
only.
Yeah, let me say this. This is objective fact. Spider-Man 2 is better than Brand New Day. It is
Yes.
one of it's the greatest Spider-Man film of all time, and it is also one of the greatest comic book movies of all time.
Agreed. And
Period.
I know there will be people that are really trying to um, take him off the throne, and that just won't, sorry, it won't happen. The 2
No.
amazing movies, the second one especially, warts and all, I enjoy that one. I do. It's got eye-rolling moments for sure. It's
I like
also
the
got
first
some really cool moments.
I like the first one a lot. I do.
What was I gonna say though? I don't remember. I'll always have Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Like in the end, I always have Tobey Maguire. But also, I think I'm a little nothing. So whoever ends up owning DC Studios, who am I to tell them that what Marvel did with Spider-Man won't work for Batman? Because clearly, especially with the history of Warner Brothers, they don't learn their lessons. So how would
Yeah.
they not see this and think this is what we've got to do?
Someone there were not probably more than several people thinking we got to get that have that shit at Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
We got Batman here. Of course, the Batman Part 2 will come out. It'll make $1 billion, and then it'll be. I always
Hopefully.
say it's an inconvenient success.
Yeah.
For the
And
DCU.
as Tom Petty said, the waiting is the hardest part. So
Yeah.
that's why people keep spinning all this stuff. People are over their interpretation of Pattinson because they haven't had him in years. They want the DCU Batman because it's not a thing, so they can romanticize what it's going to
Yeah.
be. And I just, yeah, I don't want more DC because I don't want more DC heroes in a Batman movie because it's like then it's taking away screen time from Batman. I don't want screen
Yeah.
time away from Batman. The Batman was in 98% of the Batman. I double down, go 99%.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want is that much Batman in a Batman movie. That's what I expect in a Batman movie is that much Batman. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm with you. So what did we learn today?
Nothing.
What did we learn today? We learned that not much.
Yeah.
Not much. So just setting the record straight about the Batman 2-3, the picture. Never reported it. No, it's not happening. Wouldn't bullshit you. Is what it is. Over it. Done. And we just had a good talk about Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and here on a Batman podcast talking Spider-Man. And that's it. And actually, if you are listening, this is a twofer. Ron and I are about to talk about Batman Cape Crusader on a episode of Batmanimation. They'll probably drop about the same time. So there you go. All right, Ron, anything you want to mention real quick from Batman
The Batman
Book Club?
Most recent episode.
Yeah.
Talked with author/writer Daniel Dockery about his book that comes out next month. I Am the Night, the unauthorized history of Batman the Animated Series. A lot of Batman the Animated Series talk. Excellent. The book is great. I read the whole thing. He was really nice to talk to, and yeah, there's a lot of BTAS talk. So do that, and then check out Batman Dash on dashfilm.com for my review of Batman number 12. Go.
Got it right here. I'm about halfway through it. I'm gonna have a little short interview. So there you go.
Cool.
I got that. When does that come out for people listening?
September 3rd.
Okay. All right.
First week of September.
I got to get through finish my review. All right. So yeah, we're covering the Batman Part 2 on BOF. That's the main thing. Having a fun time with these Cape Crusader Season 2 Batman Animation podcast. And also, I'll have to say, Trey Jackson has just started a new chapter by chapter series on the Batman 66, the movie. And first episode is on Batman on Film, so check that out. All right, well, there she is. She's saying, hurry up. Announcer Rachel's here.
She got
she
things
does
to do.
Live. She does this live every time. She'll take us out. We'll catch you next time.
You have been listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official podcast on Batman on Film. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. To help keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original Batman on Film, founded in 1998.